Hello and welcome to Nagaland TV. You are watching Nltv News Now. I'll read the headlines for you. NSCNIM once again reaffirms its stand on the demand for a separate Naga flag and constitution, asserting that these were the face of Naga political struggle and identity. Accuses Government of India of indulging in divisive policy and flattery in the name of Naga political issue. Funeral service of former Nagaland Minister Quixote Holohorn takes place on Saturday in presence of his admirers. The seven-time MLA laid to rest in his residence, Grace Home, Darogapathar village, breathed his last due to age-related illness on Friday. Nagaland to host South Asian Cross Country Championship and 56th National Cross Country Championship in 2022. CM Rio takes to Twitter to announce about it. India's battling stalwart Rahul Dravid all set to take over Team India's head coach following T20 World Cup in UAE. Rahul likely to coach the Indian team till 2023 World Cup as current coach Ravi Shastri's contract comes to an end after T20 World Cup. And now the news in details. NSCNIM has once again reaffirmed its stand on the demand for a separate Naga flag and constitution, asserting that these were the face of Naga political struggle and identity, accusing the Government of India of starting to indulge in divisive policy and flattery in the name of Naga political solution. NSCNIM alleged that Made in India collaborators had been planted to confuse and hoodwink the Nagas with typical high-sounding promises, but having no political commitment to fulfill as done in the past. NSCNIM said it was, however, no longer naive to be carried away by such outrageous flattery, adding that the Naga national flag and constitution were holding up the Naga solution. The funeral service of late Quixote Holohorn was held on Saturday at his residence, Grace Home, Darogapathar village at 8 a.m. Holohorn was born on 15th April 1930 to late Quixote Yeptomi and late Vikeli Yeptomi of Quixote village under Zunheboto district. He was an active politician until he retired honorably after his 2008 to 2013 tenure as member of the Nagaland Legislative Assembly. Altogether, Holohorn contested 7 General Assembly elections and was successfully elected to the Nagaland Legislative Assembly all 7 times. He served as the head GB of his ancestral Quixote village till 2019 and the head GB of Daniel village till his last breath. During his lifetime, he had the opportunity to build and help many churches, prayer houses, and sponsored numerous missionaries irrespective of tribe or state. The married late Vitoli Jimomi in 1963. He had married late Vitomi Jimomi in 1963, but she predeceased him in 1996. They were blessed with 4 daughters and 2 sons, out of whom 1 daughter and 1 son also predeceased him. Holohorn is survived by 3 daughters, 1 son, 3 sons-in-law, 2 daughter-in-law, 20 grandchildren, 2 great-grandsons, and his present wife, Hojeli Holohorn.
Tishko Atara King, it really become like a more election queue like a Lava. Is that again? But has a boom not Tangashi, has a church, Poligana, Galay, Fulla. Yeah. New Year at Juna Babla up Chimapu assisted you. As a Moksha Timuba has a boom put church for again, make a salvation of the air poor. Ekmana cook Magay, up me can get too many districts of Magay, Evelyn Tishpo, Timpo, Preceptors who was there. They get here now. If Lanashkal Potom Pana Akripo, one of Masakala, Shikasi, if more, each long of the Begato. Parili Bang become la. Ishes a la Sharmo, Chumo, Tokabi, Adoi Jingu. Ishes a la Pasha Kasha, non the Yellow, Blood, non the Matsby, non come to Shikin.
Allo share, allo shikin as I like you to what's gay, allo shikin to one lab, twist and gay, allo than gay, she'll give a love shell, Salamo, Pashikin slow, if she be allo than gay. I'm like a shadow, allo no, I saw on I should have a man who didn't do gay, allo no, Pasha Aki, the shadow of gay. I'm like allo shikin tiny. Yeah, we do this. I don't like you love us. You told me to do it. I love them. It should be some sign. It's a good thing. He damn much in a bag, but I could have it done with it. No, they might do. We should go to London. I don't want to let her go. When you see bled by him, I'm not sure when you should better. I'm probably when you should better. In the climate. We didn't live namely in the interest law, but I'm not sure I don't know the land right position. In a lucky she can start this idea. I saw on a day no, by a non blessing to be like the honor in a fine doing a bus push arena, no competition position. Over you, Logilla, Agala, Logilla, Idia, Yemi, over you, Logilla, Yemi, Pax and Pavan. Pan Eliga, Mom Pan, like a Panakiana, no gives to the Baraya, Alojimana, the labor, John, by giving you a law and a caddy. Babylonary, Pana should get the no way that Harry made the actual being about the marvelous no of the Zangi line.
Chief Minister Nayib Rio took to his Twitter to announce that India will host the South Asian Cross Country Championship in Nagaland. He wrote that he is grateful to South Asian Athletics Federation and Athletic Federation of India. In his tweet, he also thanked and specially appreciated SAF President Dr. Lalit Bhanot for his support. It is worth mentioning here that he applauded the efforts of Abu Mehta as well. Abu Mehta is the advisor to CM Rio and also the Assistant VP of Athletic Federations of India. According to sources, a bomb blast happened at Chenlosho village in Mon district near Assam Rifles camp in Nagaland. Reportedly, one lady died on spot, two others have been seriously injured. The incident took place at around 11:15 a.m. on 15th October 2021. Further details awaited in the matter. A resident of Churachandpur, Manipur, working in a spa in Gurgaon was declared dead on arrival at the Fortis Hospital in South Delhi's Vasant Kunj. The cause of her death is unknown and the body has been sent for post-mortem. The woman was brought to the hospital by two Nigerian nationals who claim to have known her. As per preliminary reports, the report shows no external injuries and the body is sent to Safdarjung Enclave mortuary for post-mortem. Since the Fortis Hospital in Vasant Kunj does not have a government legalized mortuary, the two Nigerian along with the car that was used to bring her in has been detained by the Gurgaon police. A friendly football match was played between the local youths of Kumyangan and Assam Rifles of Noklak under the Fit India movement and Khelo India initiative at Noklak town on 16th of October, Saturday. The match was organized by Assam Rifles of Noklak. In the wake of killing a man at the Singhu border in Haryana's Sonipat on Friday, an application has been filed before the Supreme Court seeking urgent hearing of a plea to remove all protesters from the borders of Delhi. Members of a Sikh warrior group allegedly killed a 32-year-old farmer, hack off his left arm and tied his body to a metal barricade near the protest site at the Singhu border on Friday. The application, filed through Advocate Shashank Shekhar Jha, sought an early hearing on the case, saying despite multiple attempts, the murder has not been heard till now. The main petition has sought direction to the governments to remove the protesters from the site and to issue guidelines to each and every state and union territory to stop all kinds of protests in their states and not to permit them until the pandemic gets over. Pune airport to remain closed for 14 days from Saturday to 29th of October. To complete the runway resurfacing work, the resurfacing work is being undertaken by the Indian Air Force, according to sources. The airstrip was inescapable as the condition of the runway is rapidly deteriorating and it needs recarpeting. The travellers were shocked by the announcement, which they said was made at a very short notice. The announcement of closure was made on the day Greenfield Airport was inaugurated by the centre in Sindhudurg. Operationalization of the airport at Chippi in Sindhudurg has opened the horizon of additional connectivity of coastal Maharashtra with other cities, directly connected with bigger places like Pune. The army has launched a major combing operation in Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch after two soldiers, including a junior commissioned officer, went missing in an ongoing operation that started on Monday. According to sources, the JCO and a soldier went missing after the army came under heavy firing from terrorists on Thursday evening. Two soldiers, Rifleman Yogambar Singh and Rifleman Vikram Singh Negi, were killed in the encounter that erupted in Poonch Rajouri forest. 4 days after 5 army personnel were killed in action in the same area. A major offensive was launched this morning in Narkhas forest near Medar. Heavy firing and explosions were heard in the area as the army tries to flush out terrorists believed to be hiding in the deep forest. One unidentified militant has been killed in an ongoing operation in South Kashmir's Pulwama, taking the total toll of militants to 12 in back-to-back encounters since October 8th. An official said the militant was killed during an ongoing encounter in Drangbal area of Parampur Hamlet in South Kashmir's Pulwama district. The police said that the operation started at night. Inspector General of Police Vijay Kumar said a top lieutenant commander Umar Mushtaq Khande, who was involved in killing of two policemen at Bhagat in Srinagar, was trapped in the Pampore encounter. Khan was recently named among the top 10 militants in Kashmir. Heavy rain slammed several parts of Kerala on Saturday as 5 districts were put on red alert, and in 7 districts of the state, Thiruvananthapuram, Kollam, Azalapuza, Palakkad, Malappuram, Korikaze and Wayadand, the Weather Office has sounded an orange alert, which signifies heavy to very heavy rain. 2 districts have been put on yellow alert. The Chief Minister's office has been sent out a cautionary note urging people to be extremely careful and avoid venturing out for travels into the mountains or near seas. Chennai Super King clinched their 4th Indian Premier League title, beating Kolkata Knight Riders by 27 runs in the 2021 finale at Dubai International Stadium on Friday. After being put into bat, CSK openers Ruturaj Gaikwad and FAF du Plessis gave the team a fine start again. The duo strung together a 61-run stand before Gaikwad was dismissed by Sunil Narayan. CSK set a target of 192 runs. KKR's chase got off to a fortunate start. Things only went from bad to worse for KKR's Dinesh Karthik, Shakib Al Hassan and Rahul Tripathi fell in quick succession. It all hinged on captain Eoin Morgan, but the England skipper has been woefully out of form. India's battling stalwart Rahul Dravid is all set to take over as the national cricket team's head coach following the T20 World Cup in the UAE, having agreed to the BCCI's offer after initial reluctance. The 48-year-old Dravid has been in charge of India A and Under-19 setup for the past 6 years, and a lot of players such as Rishabh Pant, Avesh Khan, Prithvi Shaw, Hanuma Vihari and Subham Gill have come through the system prepared by him. He currently heads the National Cricket Academy in Bengaluru. A BCCI official said that Rahul has agreed to coach the Indian team till 2023 World Cup. Initially, he was reluctant, but it is understood that President Sourav Ganguly and Secretary Jai Shah had a meeting with Rahul on the sidelines of the IPL final, where they were able to convince him. MS Dhoni has become the first captain to lead 300 matches in the T20 format on Friday. Dhoni achieved this feat when he captained Chennai Super Kings in the final of the Indian Premier League 2021 against Kolkata Knight Riders at Dubai International Stadium in UAE. Darren Sammy is a distant second with 208 and no one else has passed 200. The 40-year-old former Indian captain played his 10th IPL final, 9th for CSK as captain, and led the Yellow Brigade in 214 games across 12 editions that they have taken part in out of 14 IPL seasons. Fast bowling all-rounder Shardul Thakur replaced Akshar Patel in India's squad for the T20 World Cup to be held in the UAE and Oman from October 17th. The 29-year-old Thakur has impressed with his 18 wickets in the ongoing IPL for Chennai Super Kings. The All India Senior Selection Committee, after a discussion with the team management, has added Shardul Thakur to the main squad. All-rounder Akshar Patel, who was part of the 15-member squad, will now be on the list of standby players, BCCI Secretary Jai Shah said in a statement. The selectors also included Harshal Patel among the net bowlers for the Indian team. New Zealand healthcare workers administered vaccine jabs on Saturday, October 16th, as the nation held a festival aimed at getting more people inoculated against the coronavirus. Musicians, sports stars and celebrities pitched in for the Vaxathon event, which was broadcast on the television and online for 8 hours straight. By late afternoon, more than 120,000 people have received shots, exceeding the daily record of 93,000 set in August. Before the Vaxathon, about 72% of New Zealanders had received at least one dose and 54% were fully vaccinated. Among those aged 12 and over, the proportion was about 83% and 62% respectively. Heavy gunfire broke out Thursday in Beirut during a protest organized by the Hezbollah group against the judge leading the probe into last year's blast in the city's port. At least 6 people were killed and dozens wounded in the most violent street fighting in the Lebanese capital. Gunfire echoed for hours and ambulances rushed to pick up casualties. It was not clear who started the shooting, which began shortly after the start of the protest organized by the iron-backed Hezbollah and its Shiite allies from the Amal movement against Judge Tariq Bitar, who is leading the investigation into last year's massive port explosion. Prime Minister Najib Mikati appealed for calm and urged people not to be dragged into civil strife. A British lawmaker was stabbed to death on Friday in a church by a man who lunged at him at a meeting with voters from each electoral district, knifing him repeatedly. David Amis, a 69-year-old lawmaker, was attacked at around midday at a meeting at the Belfast Methodist Church in Leigh-on-Sea, east of London. According to sources, there was no detail about the motivation of the attack. Emergency services had fought to save his life inside the church, but in vain. As news on the attack emerged, Prime Minister Johnson rushed to London, back from a meeting in Bristol, Western London. Colleagues from across Parliament expressed their shock and paid tributes to MS, saying he was diligent in his duties to his local area. Fully vaccinated foreigners can travel to the United States from November 8th, the White House announced on Friday, a move which was also going to benefit Indians who have received both the shots of coronavirus disease vaccine. It will be a beginning to the end of unprecedented restrictions imposed earlier last year. According to sources, the policy is guided by public health. Stringent and consistent vaccinated air passengers will need to be tested within 3 days before travel, and airlines will be required to put in place a contact tracing system. The main lawyer for Myanmar's leader Aung San Suu Kyi, who is being tried on triple criminal charges, said he has been issued a gag order barring him from talking about her cases on Thursday. The practical effect of the order will be to choke off almost any first-hand accounts of the ongoing trials in which the leader and her co-dependents are involved. The only accounts of the proceedings have come from the lawyers defending her and her co-defendants. Suu Kyi's supporter and independent analysts say the charges against her are created to discredit her and legitimize the military seizure or power. According to reports, the most serious charges are corruption, for which each count is punishable by up to 15 years in prison, and violating the Official Secret Act, which carries maximum term of 14 years. That is all for now. This is Gargi Deka signing off. Keep watching Nagaland TV.